Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone in the world. And let me express first my thanks to our host, the visionary and passionate guru Adesh, who anticipated really the need for this global forum that looks like an important step for the wider communities to which we belong in order for us to try to help in the new projects that the new world is proposing to us. Because the pandemic has plunged the world in a disruptive situation that has already been mentioned, that will be the real new world in which in the next year we all will find ourselves. This brings many challenges to all the sectors, and mainly these challenges will cover new types of projects and also new ways of project management competencies to deal with. This panel of global advisors, and I wish to heartfelt thank Professor Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, Professor Rudiger Geist, Professor Dr. Rafael Begarias, the global advisors who accepted to share their views on these new challenges that are in front of us all. During the presentations, you will see different perspectives, different in terms of generations, different in terms of cultures, differences in terms of geographical provenience, and difference in terms of business sectors. We will, our speakers, we will cover in a first round the type of project that they envisage that our communities will face in the near future. So first, I would like to ask Professor Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka. There is no need to introduce him because he has been in the forefront for many decades in the global PM community in all the continents, in all the world continents. And he has also been the founder and former president of the Japan Project Management Association. So welcome and thank you again, Hiroshi. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Let me share my slide. Okay, first, let me recapitulate my concept about emerging types of projects. I have a shopping list here. The first and second one are quite popular programs and projects in response to climate change, of course, and partially overlapping projects for energy transition. And then we are looking increasingly social transformation project using DX, digital transformation. And then our experience in smart manufacturing project is being augmented month by month. And now we are looking at smart agriculture project that are utilizing the big data, I mean the AI technology and IoT technology accumulated in the manufacturing sector to make a culture project that's being given fresh highlight because of the day to be more productive. What are the drivers who are generating these types of projects? We see rapid growth in this world, so countries are still struggling for growth opportunities, right? That's a good thing. And sometimes there is a conflict in pursuing this. And then we are seeing global commandment for carbon reduction, green growth, bioeconomy, or in some countries like Russia, blue economy. And the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, given 17 goals, is not any longer political or social paradigm, but it's business, because conformance with SDG is a big condition for companies to say secure financing. You are asked whether you are honoring SDGs or not by your financiers, of course, your customers, right? And there is increasing competition for energy and foods. And
sharing here a paper, and I'd like to point out the year. And if someone is interested about understand complexity, the beginning of complexity and what's going on today, you can get and look in this paper. It's open in the internet. And we talk here, when Ross Arshaby talks about it, he talks about complexity and how to deal with complexity. And nowadays, we have been talking about complexity based on the theory of the 70s, that they like to create some kind of world that everything's complex to deal with. It do not exist in my head. What exists is not understand or try to understand things regarding the new generations when we look for this kind of approach. What I'm trying to say is that people, instead of looking of why the project exists and to look at the vision that this creates and to understand what should be delivered, people want to rush and to go fast and to move forward without understanding the reason why the project exists. So when you look this variability of projects that we have been talking about, like Professor Hiroshi Tanaka told us, it's very complex because when we say we have two kinds of complexity that I'd like to just to point out. One kind of complexity, it's regarding the technical complexity, which means the technology that we've been using. And yeah, I know that's tough, and probably we're going to have a lot of issues regarding the technology and to use this in a proper way and all the sets that we're thinking about. But when we talk about social complexity, we're ignoring one of the most powerful forces that we have among our society, which is power. So when we understand this kind of approach, and just like to share it to you here a bit for a little discussion. Well, when I see it here, I can see the world through my lens as simple as that. And simplicity, according to Leonardo da Vinci, is the ultimate degree of a great perspective, something. So in a way here, what we are dealing is with two kinds of complexity. I can use here the complexity, the technical complexity as we see in the submarine and nuclear submarine that have been built for the last 50 years. And we have the social complexity. So to integrate people, to make them understand, to make them be part of the system. It's very complex because when we look to our society, we have been plugging people into a smartphone or social media, and people want to compare themselves with the others, and they have a lot of stimuli. And even if this new generation, mine is the last generation that we are hybrid. We're the digital world, but we came from the
mid-aged people. There is one interesting difference we can observe, and this is going directly into what Raphael already mentioned. What we can observe is that young people try to be always on the fast track. So what does it mean? It means if a problem occurs, they never have the patience to wait to a kind of a right moment. They want to react immediately. If there is a problem, it has to go away. Even from our point of view, we would say, there is still a lot of time. So many things can happen in between. Why you're wasting whatever time, energy, money on something where you can waste money in 10 months from now on? So why you don't have the patience to wait up to the point where we say, okay, now we have to take the decision, but there is no reason to take the decision now. This is something that really makes a difference. So sometimes I think this is one, maybe this is nothing new. Maybe this was since mankind is existing. I don't know, but I wasn't part of it. But at the end of the day, this is a very interesting observation. It feels very hard for them to wait if something is coming up or seen at the horizons. They want to react immediately, even if it does not make so much sense. And another thing which is related to understanding versus judgment is what Raphael brought up. And from my point of view, this is also very important, is thinking about value of what we are doing, of what the project is about, instead of thinking about, I don't know, to keep the deadline, to be in budget or whatever. At the end of the day, the question always is, what is the reason why the project has started? Yeah, the project for itself does not make sense. So the project is always a kind of a mechanism to reach something, and what to reach has a higher value and is more important than the project itself. Yeah, and also I think this is not only because of younger people. A lot of organizations are
No, we have created what is called access code. A large corporation like Indian Oil, they have gone for an unlimited license. A very small amount they paid, not too much. And anybody in the Indian Oil Corporation, they're a very, very large corporation, they are going to log in any day, anytime. All these videos are available to them offline for 3 days. Anybody can see any video. And that's the reason we have taken permission from you. So this is creating a new way of giving education to larger and larger people. So we expect about 1,500 or so who would have gone through unlimited. Many companies in India have gone for a license of small amount, very small, less than maybe $100, maybe less than very, very hundreds of dollars, just nothing. But they will have 50 people, any 50 people can rotate. Technique, for example, a consulting company, Technique Energies, they will have 50% day one, different people on day two, and different 15 day three. So that way, larger the number of people going through few sessions, this will create a new wave of thinking. So your GA advisors panel today will be available to everybody, not only for people today. So this is another initiative we have taken this year in WPMF, and I'm very proud. A lot of companies have opted for this kind of revolving participation. So with this, thank you once again. My heartiest congratulations.
Thanks to you. Our congratulations. Thank you all. And we keep in touch.
Thank you. We will close.
Bye-bye.
One thing
Thank
is,
you.
my host was saying that all of us should be on one panel. So my IT team will make us to come into one panel, and then we can take a. Gaurav?
Sir, you all are in one panel.
Okay, but we are seeing, okay. All right, so that's all right. All right, galleries. gallery is there. Okay, thank you very much. And then we'll close this session now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Oh.